I believe that everyone, truly everyone, needs from time to time to talk with a self-esteem specialist, whether in person or by listening to them in a course. What does such a specialist do?
They aim to shed light on the difference between what it's like when someone loves themselves and when they're not on good terms with themselves. And from the difference between the two, it becomes clear just how much better it is when a person accepts and loves themselves.
It's a vicious cycle, because if someone doesn't have successes, if things aren't going the way they want, they start to stop loving themselves. How can this be reversed?
I encourage everyone to give themselves small successes. Don't start by saying you'll run a marathon, but rather say that, instead of taking the elevator, you'll just walk up to the first floor and then say, yes, I did what I promised myself. This way, the negative spiral starts to slow down, then gradually begins to move in a positive direction, and we can promise ourselves bigger and bigger things, and then we accomplish those too. And that's how the process begins. A self-esteem spiral.
I would expect a little more from myself. I'm saying that I'm not going to run a marathon, but first I'll just walk around the block. That will be enough for me. But then I feel like, well, yes, but I set myself such a small goal on purpose just to make sure I'd succeed, so there was no challenge in it.
This is the kind of mechanism, the kind of functioning where even if you know why you're doing it, why you've already promised yourself less than what you're actually capable of, and you know you failed in this area several times before, it still works. So the result will still be what I'm talking about, that you'll feel better in your own skin.
For example, as soon as I set foot on the road, I'm already completely satisfied with myself. But Lacey, for instance, has only run around the house so far, so he's thinking about the marathon and can't quite praise himself yet. Of course, a book can't help everyone in exactly the same way.
We've all read a book at some point that felt like it was speaking directly to us. And I think the secret is always that you have to be open to admitting certain things to yourself. Most people live in denial about the fact that maybe there's something they could improve in their relationship with themselves. And this comes with tremendous pain.
In a training like this, when you're working one-on-one with someone, let's say you repeat this over and over for 2 hours, telling them to remember to approach themselves and the world in this way, or what actually happens.
The best thing about these trainings is that I don't want to fix anyone. So the goal of a training like this is not for me to tell you the ultimate truth. It's simply about the person giving themselves answers through very well-directed questions. By the way, that's why we can see, for example, how comfortable children feel in their own skin, because they are full of questions wherever they go. I'm sure you've noticed too that they run everywhere because they're full of curiosity. But if you look at an adult walking, it's a different story, because they don't have questions anymore. They have answers that explain why they're unhappy, why they're unsuccessful, and so on and so forth. This training, or these trainings, are about how we can get someone out of that state and how they can return to the level where they start asking themselves questions again and are able to find answers to them. For example, what went well in my day today? What is it about myself that I can love? What is it that I will be able to accomplish now? What is something positive about what I have done so far?